Hello everyone and good day. The social judgment theory will be discussed in a presentation by myself, Prema and my partner Nurul Aziidah binti Azlan. This presentation is divided into two sections: the history and orientation and the core assumptions and statements. So let's start with the history of orientation of social judgment theory. Three researchers, Caroline Sharif, Muzaffar Sharif, and Roger Nebergel, were attempting to comprehend how unique individuals classify, make judgments on, and share the information they are faced with in the 1960s. Theory of social judgment. According to this idea, a person's viewpoint on a subject is influenced by three things: their anchor, their alternatives, and their level of ego involvement. This means that various individuals will view the same thing or problem differently and respond in a different ways. Before putting a product on the market for humans, for instance, it needs to be tested on animals. Because it is cruel, using animals for testing of any type is unacceptable. Only topical products like lotions or makeup should be tested on animals. Animals should be employed for testing without a doubt, since we can then be sure the product is suitable for human consumptions. Only when the general public is not fully aware of the treatment they are receiving may animals be used for testing. What is that? According to social judgment theory, a communication's ability to persuade someone depends on how closely that message relates to that person's current beliefs. Based on the social judgment hypothesis, your cognitive map determines whether you accept or reject a statement or message, relying on own ego involvement and whether it comes within their latitude of acceptance. You accept or reject a message. Last but not least, we need to be aware of its consumers. Ego-involved people are the main group of individuals that use social judgment theory. Between high and low levels of ego involvement are two different categories. Individuals who have a high sense of ego are more narrow-minded, while those with a low sense of ego are more tolerant. Basically, the more knowledgeable person is on an issue, the more ego involved they are with the situation, which makes them more difficult to convince.
Why it is important? It is important because it's involved in every aspect of life. It is the reason people say, believe, and do the things they do. Core assumption and statement. Cognitive structure of attitude. Attitude is the same as a single point. Attitude equal latitude. Latitude is the distance of place, north or south, the equator measured in degrees. Three types of latitude: latitude of acceptance, latitude of rejection, attitude of non-commitment. Attitude of acceptance is the range of message position acceptable or plausible for a listener. Latitude of rejection, the range of message position that a listener actively rejects. Latitude of non-commitment is the range of message position that a listener neither accept or reject. Social judgment process is start from message to incoming information to assess level of ego involvement, and there are three types of latitude like I mentioned earlier: is latitude of acceptance, latitude of non-commitment, and latitude of rejection. Okay, social judgment theory claims that an individual position on an issue depends on three things: anchor, the preferred position on the issue; alternative classified as acceptable, rejected, or non-committal. Meanwhile, is ego involvement is someone's position on an issue depend on their personnel. According to SCCT, to be a successful persuader, you have to make an agreement that appears within the personal latitude of acceptance. Persuasion is something we all encounter. Since we all want to be successful persuader, SCCT is super important by helping us learn not only how to be a star persuader, but also why we are easily and not easily persuaded. The more ego involved in one is, the more narrow latitude of acceptance held and the wider latitude of rejection held.